Good morning. It is Thursday, August 19th. I'm Shane Celia, and this is a CBC Morning Report. Over $90 million. That's the amount of money currently owed to the Barbados Water Authority by businesses and homeowners across the island. The BWA chairman, Stevon Roberts, broke the news on last night's edition of Water Wednesdays as he appealed to commercial and domestic customers to pay their bills. Giving more details to the morning report now, he says it's roughly a 70 to 30% split between commercial and domestic customers.
In excess of $90 million being owed to the Barbados Water Authority. This is a significant amount. When you think about the amount of projects that the Water Authority at the moment is rolling out and how much money we are constantly spending to improve the water infrastructure of Barbados for the people of Barbados, we really have to consider what's going on in terms of the monies that is outstanding to get these projects completed. With regards to the breakdown, I don't want to finger point, but the larger amount of that money, as you would probably realize, is commercially owned. There are lots of commercial businesses that owe us quite a bit of money, and I would like to think that since the economy is picking up and they're starting to earn money again, that they will take it upon themselves to start paying their bills. And Water Authority is one important bill that they should pay because everybody wants water.
The BWA chairman made it clear the authority is not resorting to disconnections to solve this issue at present. He's, however, appealing to people on the domestic side to come in and work out a payment plan with the authority.
For those of you who have gotten back your jobs, we will ask you kindly to start paying your water bills because we do need the cash to pay off our operational costs and the cost of all of these projects that we have ongoing and upcoming. For those of you who are having challenges, feel free to come in and speak to our customer services. We are here to assist and to work with you. Like I said, Shane, I know there are some people who have challenges. So we don't expect them to move a mountain to be able to pay their bills. But we would like, as we are not mind readers, we would like them to come in and have a discussion with us and work out a plan on getting to the point where they can pay off those bills.
We'll take a break here, but when we come back, our COVID-19 updates. 13 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported by the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. In their latest statistics, the 6 females and 7 males were identified from 1,381 tests done on Tuesday. The number of people in isolation is now 127. Confirmed COVID-19 cases recorded since March last year have reached 4,594, while the virus has claimed 48 lives. 87,096 people have received second doses. Those are the ones who are fully vaccinated, and they account for 32.1% of the population. The executive director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, Dr. Joy St. John, believes the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and its partners are vital in tackling the infodemic of misinformation. She made the comment at the recent CBU's annual General Conference in light of the concerted effort by many to disseminate untruths regarding COVID-19 vaccines.
So the media has a very important role, not just motivation, but countering dangerous rumors, helping audience members to stay healthy, and helping to reduce the stigma towards people affected by COVID-19.
And with regards to the acquisition of vaccines, Dr. St. John says CARFA's work is continuing, with several countries having received their first batches of the U.S.-manufactured Pfizer vaccine, which can be used to inoculate children 12 years and older.
We've been working with the government of the United States and Pfizer solidly for the last 2 months to bring vaccines, Pfizer vaccines, for the first time, for some of them, into the member states, the 15 member states of CARICOM. And these are pictures of some of the countries that have had vaccines delivered. Vaccines are coming as well this week. We are very pleased about this from many perspectives, but very much so from the fact that finally we can start to protect children from age 12.
In related news, we hear that Barbadian students who will be heading to the U.S. to study may have to be vaccinated against COVID-19, depending on the college they are going to. More in this report.
More than 20 million U.S. students are headed off to college. This year, there's a new item on the curriculum: COVID-19 vaccine mandates. More than 700 colleges and universities now say students must be vaccinated or face repeated COVID testing, enforced social distancing, or even be barred from campus. Colleges are desperate to prevent a replay of last year's damaging campus shutdowns.
Another outbreak would be extremely disruptive. We're risking another evacuation from college campuses in the fall, and it will have an even greater impact on those who are already the most vulnerable in our society.
In the politically hypercharged debate over vaccines in the U.S., there are, naturally, those who refuse to comply. Riley O'Neill, a student at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, is one of them.
It goes back to the idea that I should be able to choose whether I get the vaccine or not. And if I'm going to be coerced into doing that, that doesn't feel like a free choice to me. It very much feels like oppression.
He has sued the university over its vaccine policy. If he refuses the shots, he could attend Loyola Marymount, but would have to undergo repeated testing and observe social distancing with other students. O'Neill's lawyer was quick to frame the issue in political terms.
There's going to be this continued divisive effort by the left, by the progressive side of this nation, to try to create this division between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
So far, legal efforts to overturn college vaccine mandates have fallen flat. A federal appeals court recently ruled against students suing the University of Indiana over its vaccine mandate. One of the judges wrote, "People who do not wish to be vaccinated can go elsewhere." And the Supreme Court has upheld that ruling. O'Neill seems unconcerned that unvaccinated young people will get infected and spread the virus to more vulnerable people.
Quite frankly, my age group isn't nearly as affected by COVID-19 as older generations are.
That's a problem, says higher education authorities.
Part of our educational responsibility is to talk to people not only about their rights, but also their responsibilities. And liberal education, America's historic mission, of educating for democracy requires that we impart that message now more than ever.
Surveys show the overwhelming majority of college students approve of campus vaccine mandates.
And we spoke about this issue on the Morning Report yesterday, as U.S. officials are now recommending that all Americans get COVID-19 booster jabs to shore up their protection amid the surging Delta variant and evidence that the vaccine's effectiveness is falling. The plan, outlined by the director of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and other top authorities, calls for an extra dose 8 months after people get their second jab of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. Those doses could begin the week of September 20th.
Health officials say people will be eligible 8 months after getting their second jab. It's after finding the protection offered by the vaccine wanes over time. But the World Health Organization has warned wealthier countries against giving booster shots until more people are vaccinated worldwide. COVID-19 cases and hospital admissions are increasing in almost all U.S. states. Well, let's go straight to Shihab Rattanzi, who's live for us in Washington, D.C. Shihab, what's prompted the U.S. administration to take these measures?
I think there's several discussions here. Actually, even in making the announcement, that's raised a few eyebrows, because they're making the announcement before the regulatory steps have been taken to ensure that this is actually going to happen in September. The FDA has to look at it, then the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. The uncharitable might think the Biden administration was trying to distract Americans from another story that may not be going quite as well as they'd hoped. But what we keep on hearing from the administration is that they want to stay ahead of the virus. They don't want to be playing catch-up. They say that there's research now that shows not just that the Delta variant can overpower the vaccine, but also that anyway, generally, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines do lose their efficacy over time, and they've presented some information in the last day or so to try and show that. But actually, that information didn't really show that, or at least it raised a lot of questions as to whether it was showing what they think that they wanted to show. Because if anything, the data that they showed once again showed that Pfizer and Moderna was immensely effective in preventing serious infection, hospitalization, and death in most people. Obviously, there have always been questions about the immunocompromised, and the Biden administration took steps about that last week, allowing them to have a third shot, and the elderly and those on the front lines of emergency work, health work, and so on. But why should an 18-year-old, a perfectly healthy 18-year-old who's already had 2 shots, get a third when he or she's at a very low risk of any serious illness? They haven't really answered that question. That's raising even more questions.
Questions that we hope to answer right here on the Morning Report as well. But let's take a little pause and go over to Pearson to find out what is happening on the Thursday edition of Mornin Barbados. Pearson.
Thank you, Shane. It's Thursday, and naturally it's the one day when we as Barbadians just know that we should not despair the future, because it looks bright through the entrepreneurship and the intelligence of our young people. And so this morning we'll meet a young woman again who has little thoughts on big matters, who's just formed her own thought squad. And as you know, yesterday was a global summit on sport for climate action. We'll catch up with her a little bit about how that happened. This morning too, what do you do when you have a passion for people, a passion for being creative, and a passion for challenging oneself? Then you form your own company. And so this morning, a young woman who's formed her company to become the creative guru will tell us a little bit about her journey through that process as well. We meet a few young men who are leveraging their futures on sport. And those are just a few of who will join me when you come over to join me too on Morning Barbados in about 15 minutes. It's back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Pearson. And we're going to talk about the rollout of another vaccine here in Barbados right after the break. The rollout of the Pfizer vaccine begins today. This was announced last evening by the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Kenneth George, while speaking at the fourth and final town hall meeting on COVID-19 vaccinations and testing held yesterday at the Combermere School. Now that the Pfizer vaccines are here in Barbados, many people have been expressing a preference to have that brand.
It's going to be a limited rollout. We are doing some individuals like recruits from the Barbados Defense Force and other small groups as a trial run. Then later next week, we will proceed to the general population with a view to shortly, once the Ministry of Education is happy and we go through a few steps, to invite younger individuals to have their vaccines that are approved in persons 12 years and older.
Another issue dealt with at the town hall meeting was whether there were any known effects of either the COVID-19 virus or vaccination being transmitted from a pregnant mother to an unborn child. The Director of Medical Services at the QEH, Dr. Clyde Cave, answered that question.
The number of cases where it has been proven to be transmitted COVID virus from mother to child, as opposed to catching the virus after birth, are extremely, extremely small. We're talking about single digits where this has been. So for all intents and purposes, there is no transmission from mother to child. However, it is an infectious virus, so there is the possibility after birth that an infected mother can transmit to a child.
And Senior Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Ingrid Cumberbatch, answered one of the big questions from last night's town hall, that of what are the contents of the vaccine. Here are the details of the Pfizer and AstraZeneca.
The mRNA contains the material that provides instructions for our body on how to make the COVID-19 spike protein that triggers an immune response within our bodies. Lipids, or fats, which are needed to deliver the mRNA to the cells, are one of the non-active ingredients. Salts, which are used to help balance the acidity in the body. Sugar, which is basic table sugar. Sucrose, which is used to help the molecules to maintain their shape during freezing. Those are the basic ingredients in the vaccine. AstraZeneca. The active ingredient is a weakened adenovirus, and that is a virus that can cause bronchitis, but it's a weakened form of it. That's what we know it can cause, which gives the body instructions to create the COVID-19 spike protein in its cells. That way, when a person is exposed to COVID-19, the immune system will recognize the part of the virus that has those spike proteins and will know how to fight it. This is the same way or same type of technology that the flu vaccine used, which is the viral vector technology.
In other news this morning, the Senate has passed several amendments aimed at further improving the business climate here in Barbados, particularly in the international business sector. The Leader of Government Business and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Dr. Jerome Walcott, piloted the Corporate Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 2021 through the Upper House yesterday. Senator Walcott says the amendments will help to strengthen the company's record keeping and requirements, also reporting on matters like ownership. He added that these and other improvements were based on the recommendations from the World Bank.
They recommended that there should be a removal of the requirement for an attorney at law to provide a declaration in relation to an incorporated satisfying the requirements, and in order to make the process of incorporating a company less onerous on individuals and indeed on small business persons, that this should be removed. In addition, they suggested the removal of the mandatory requirement that a company must have a seal, as in Section 25(1) of the Act, which is considered in the World Bank's report in relation to starting a business.
United Nations Chief Antonio Gutierrez is reaching out to the people of Haiti days after the Caribbean nation was struck by a 7.2 magnitude earthquake that killed nearly 2,000 people and left thousands homeless. In a tweet yesterday, as the nation was again threatened by the prospect of heavy rains in the wake of Tropical Storm Grace, Mr. Gutierrez said, "You are not alone. We stand by you and stand by your side in these trying times." We have an update on the situation in Haiti.
The aftermath of Storm Grace in the southwest of Haiti. The downpour wasn't quite as bad as feared, but some spent the day bailing out their houses.
I'm getting the water out because this is the only space we have to do everything. We can't live in water. When we feel aftershocks, we have to be able to move out of the house quickly.
Those were the ones who still had houses. Others had spent the night in a field, in the rain, victims of Saturday's earthquake.
First of all, the earthquake, then this, and I can't even get a tarpaulin. I ask God to take my life.
They're still there. Still more are in hospital. The quake left more than 9,000 injured. This young man was in too much pain to talk. Marie was with her young daughter.
Her leg got torn up, but not broken. I've been with her since Saturday. Yesterday, she was going to be operated on, but they wanted to amputate the leg. I don't want that. If there was a government, she wouldn't be suffering the way she is.
She's talking about the late president, assassinated in July. A political crisis that preceded the quake. It came at the worst possible time. International aid organisations are trying to help national authorities with the relief effort now.
We're here for search and rescue. We've been here for the last 2 days, looking for anyone trapped in the remaining structures that were damaged. And we're working with the local government, trying to assist any way that we can.
But it's been hard to get aid and personnel to the earthquake zone. That's because a stretch of the only road into the area is being fought over by gangs.
A lot of aid agencies have decided that the only safe way to get help in is the way that we're coming, via the air. But that can only have reduced the flow of support for the disaster area.
And help is needed. At the rubble of one of the main hotels in town, a crowd of people gathered. Rubenson Victor is telling me that in the 2010 earthquake, a block fell and permanently injured his hand. In this latest one, he says, his house fell down. These two brothers helped to try and pull people out of the rubble, despite the fact that their house too had been destroyed.
We are victims as well, but they were the worst off. I have a chance to be alive, even though I'm injured. Thanks to God, we didn't get badly hurt, so we could help out the others.
Local authorities and international organisations have commented on the resilience of these people. But there's a sense of disbelief over their long series of misfortunes too. To many, the question comes, when will Haiti get a break?
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has ruled out an inquiry into the United Kingdom's involvement in Afghanistan, disappointing legislators who have called for one of that kind of investigation following the Taliban's rapid seizure of power in the country. Addressing Parliament yesterday, Mr. Johnson dismissed pleas from across the political spectrum for a public hearing into the part played by the UK in the years-long intervention in Afghanistan headed by the United States in the wake of the September 11, 2001 attacks. The debate, however, did touch on Britain's policy on refugees.
The collective anguish of Parliament. MPs brought back from summer recess to debate the failure of a mission that claimed 457 British lives. Boris Johnson described what the UK would do in the aftermath.
Our efforts must be focused on supporting the Afghan people in the region itself, particularly those fleeing conflict or the threat of violence. We therefore call on the United Nations to lead a new humanitarian effort in this region.
The government has announced a new refugee resettlement scheme, instantly called unambitious by critics, that aims to bring 20,000 of those most in need to Britain over the next few years. And despite promises to evacuate up to 10,000 people who've worked with the UK mission, Afghans resident in the UK protested outside.
We just want something to the Parliament do for our families back home. They served for them for the last 20 years, and they can't leave them behind like this. That picture speaks for everything.
Do you feel the government is doing enough to help the people who helped it?
No, never.
Back in the House, among questions about the failure of UK intelligence and the Prime Minister's absence on holiday as the crisis unfolded last week, there was a powerful indictment of the West's withdrawal. from a military veteran on the government's own backbench.
Nations mobilize and muster. Nations determine and have patience. And here we've demonstrated, sadly, that we, the West, the United Kingdom, does not. Now, this is a harsh lesson for all of us.
Amid sometimes emotional interventions by MPs, and despite the government's best efforts to talk up some of the successes of the past 20 years in Afghanistan, there was no disguising the fact that it simply hadn't foreseen or been prepared for the speed with which Afghanistan fell to the Taliban, and that in fact this was all a rather grand-scale humiliation. The leader of a leading member of the NATO alliance forced to admit to Parliament here that its nationals and support staff were only able to leave Kabul at all because the Taliban was allowing them to. In the end, the debate, a simple motion that this House consider the situation in Afghanistan, could achieve little more than that.
In sports this morning, the thumbs up has been given to the BCA 2021 domestic season. This confirmation from the Sports Minister, Dwight Sutherland. It was just last week when a news release from the Barbados Cricket Association stated that the 2021 local season was cancelled due to increasing concerns about the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's what he had to say.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment and the Barbados Cricket Association have been discussing within the last few days with a view to resolve the issues which were the main reason for the Barbados Cricket Association's decision to cancel this year's cricket season. Foremost among those reasons were the application of certain provisions of the COVID-19 protocols relating to the playing of sports. I am happy to say to you Barbadians that after having met with the Minister of Health on Friday afternoon, the Barbados Cricket Association on Saturday morning, and the COVID-19 Secretariat last evening, all issues have been resolved and thus clearing the way for the start of the 2021 cricket season. I therefore take this opportunity to thank the Minister of Health, Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, the Barbados Cricket Association Board and its management, and the head of the COVID Secretariat, Mr. Ron Chapman, for their cooperation and quick resolve to have all concerns clarified.
And Minister Sutherland says plans are back on for an early start in September.
The fact is that for the majority of Barbadians, cricket is more than a sport. It is their religion for some, it is a way of life, and for some others, it's a business. And we felt that the cricketing community will lose too much had we not decided to have a season this year. To compound the problem, our many young people have been looking forward to a cricket season, however short it has become due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They haven't been deprived of other sporting and team activities that are good for their mental health and well-being. I therefore look forward to enjoying the forthcoming BCA cricket season to begin in September this year.
Time now for a quick look at the weather. Well, I can tell you right now, outside is looking a bit cloudy and we had some early morning showers. The temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. The high expected today is around 29 degrees Celsius. There's a 50% chance of rain at 7 this morning. We had sunrise at 14 minutes to 6. Sun is expected to set at 17 minutes after 6 in the evening. The relative humidity stands at 84%. The winds are coming out of the east at 19 kilometers per hour, and right now the apparent temperature is about 29 degrees Celsius. And that's your morning report for this Thursday morning. I'm Shane Seeley. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thursday the 19th of August, 2021. I am Pearson Bowen, saying a terrific Thursday morning to you wherever you are and wherever you're watching us on our Facebook pages, on our YouTube channel, and on our website as well, and on CBC TV via MCTV or your traditional means of receiving us as well. A very good morning to you. A terrific Thursday today because we had a wonderful start to the morning, haven't we? Through rain. We are so thankful to God for all of His blessings. And so those blessings abound too among our young people. This morning we'll get to meet a couple young men who would have traveled to Mexico to represent Barbados in wrestling. We'll talk to them about that experience as well and how sport has been able to leverage them into these kinds of opportunities that some of us just have never had. We'll also meet a young woman today who has decided to open her own skincare and beauty line. So we'll talk to her about her journey through that as well. But let's get started with that little one who has little thoughts on big matters. She's a Hay ambassador, and her name is Maria Marshall. Maria, good morning to you yet again. Good to see you.
Good morning. It's nice to meet you for the third time.
Indeed. How you been?
Yeah, I've been great. A lot of stuff has been going on this summer, and I'm very excited.
So that's good. You're using your time very wisely about your passion, which is the environment, climate change, and a whole host of things. You're also part of the Hay campaign as well. Naturally, we know why you got involved, because you're one of these young people who believes in change, who believes in using their voice to be able to effect that change as well. How has that involvement with the Hay campaign been going for you?
It's actually been going great. I attended the Global Youth Network Summit on Sports for Climate Action that was held yesterday, August 18th, which was put on by the Healthy, Environmentally Friendly Youth or Hay campaign. And I was under the title as Hay Ambassador, and I found that the summit was really informative. And it let me know some things that were a little frightening if you were to really think about it. They also spoke to a multitude of topics surrounding sports and climate change, such as the basic reality that if it gets too hot, you will not be able to have any outdoor sports. Can you even imagine the outcome of such a thing for us here in Barbados? And variable and unpredictable surfaces caused by unstable weather patterns can lead to what can be seen as unfair play, such as when the West Indies cricket team played Australia the other day, and the Australian team had won on account that they had beaten the West Indies in the first match. But because of extreme rain, the other matches were called off. This was also the situation with New Zealand versus India and England. This extreme rain also hindered the play of the Wimbledon tennis. Clearly, we see that unstable weather is not only part of one thing, but part of the world all over.
Yeah.
With all the strange weather patterns, persons doing sports are also prone to more accidents and injuries, which will be a real strain on medical resources and possibly destroying the bright futures of the athletes. The summit discussed some suggested changes, and one guy by the name of Neil Jean said something that I always suggest, and I love a good one-liner myself, and he said that the eye does not see what the mind does not know. So it is to spread the word and get the message and awareness about climate change across the people. Sort of like what I do with my social media platforms. Now, this past Olympics was said to be one of the most low impact as it relates to the environment, but also was attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic. Still, we saw medals made of recycled materials as well as sportswear. So, if there are areas within sports this shows that there can be areas within sports that can be environmentally friendly. The main point that I feel that the summit touched was that no country, no place would be safe from climate change, and the effects of climate change were actually and sadly not going to be long term. A suggestion of simply holding the sports indoors and doing away with outdoor sports is okay, but let's think about the clearing of land spaces and natural spaces to build these facilities, and even the massive expenses that such sports centres will incur. It will not be a simple matter of going to the cricket pitch on a Saturday morning, but will be costly for the athletes, and so limiting the opportunities for the average persons who may not have the required wealth to play and take part in sports. Another point was that that was made was particularly focused towards Barbados and was like that of unlike other islands such as Jamaica. Sports funding is very low and a general interest in sports is past a certain level is quite low. However, I saw in an online news article that the Barbados government intends to change this and invest more funds towards sports and games. I hope that the message of being environmentally conscious is also emphasized. Now on Sunday, I will take up my role as Minister of Community and Development for the Global Haiti Parliament on sports and community event, and I shall be addressing similar topics surrounding climate change and sports.
Wow, you've got quite an agenda straight ahead of you. Now, we've seen through sport, when people agitate, for instance, in America, we've seen people take the knee to say Black Lives Matter. What kinds of actions do you think our sports people can actually take to bring greater attention to the message that you want to resonate through your campaign?
Simply living by example can show a lot of stuff. It can show people to be environmentally conscious because sports people have fans and their fans tend to want to do what the athletes want to do.
Yes.
The athletes. So if you show a good example, the fans will most likely follow as well. So more people will get the message of being environmentally conscious.
In terms of getting into the areas and the spaces of our sports organizations so that you can actually get out to each individual, how do you intend to, how does the Haiti campaign also intend to get into those spaces to talk and interface with those people who make decisions and who make things happen?
We intend to do that through social media because a lot of people watch social media, a lot of people are on it. So by having our messages on social media, it will spread faster.
Mm-hmm. Now, you formed your own thought squad. I'm so curious about this thought squad. Talk to me about that, Maria. What's this thought squad and who's a part of the thought squad?
Well, I'm a part of this thought squad. Normally, or sometimes, I bring across another person who has a similar topic as me, and I will talk with them for 1 minute, as seen with my, I think it was World Tropics Day.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is that it's supposed to build community because every now and then I add out a question and people are responding, and I've noticed that people do understand that what is going on in the world and that climate change exists and it's real, it's happening.
So, Maria, when you look at your life for real though, we consider you to be a young environmentalist. Is that exactly the role that you think you're going to be following, so that this is your chosen career?
I really don't think I will be an environmental activist for much longer. However, I will still continue to be an environmentally conscious person, like everyone should be.
I like the way you said that everyone should be. So when you look at us adults and you see some of our bad practices, what are some of the things that you like for us to start immediately changing, but most of all to start thinking about?
One thing that I would like people to start thinking about is when you go to the supermarket, when you are out, please make sure to dispose of your garbage properly. And another thing is when you go to the supermarket, make sure to look at what you're buying. Be conscious, like say, do I really need this? Or do I have to get this? Because every cutback on what you buy, it helps the environment, and it also might be a little healthier for you, because if you buy healthy, you will be healthy.
You're so right on that. And then there's this pesky subject of garbage disposal. You know, people just throw things everywhere, or they just allow their cans to blow with the wind and it goes into the road and so forth. Like this morning coming to work, a garbage can had overthrown or was blown down. It seems like in the bad weather we had early this morning, and it's garbage scattered all over the road. Disgusting, yes, but it also will get into our aquifers and so forth. So what do you say to that kind of thing happening and the people who own those pieces of garbage?
Another thing that I see people doing, which is what I like, they tend to weight down their cans so that they don't blow over easily, which prevents most of the garbage from going into the drainage system. So when rain and stuff, the drains can clear the water off the road more easily and prevent flooding. And another thing that I remember you saying in our previous conversation was with sorting, and I always do my homework.
Yes.
And I was saying that I really don't know how that would work because Barbados is such a very small island that when I think about it, you wouldn't have much space to do sorting. However, at that time there was the ash. So I think you're talking about sorting the ash from the trash. So, and I know that ash was used to make products, which I think is a very cool thing because that is kind of like giving back to the community.
And you're right. I mean, you use the example of the recently held Olympics and how the medals and so were used from recycled material. And I'm sure that you would want us on this island to begin to go more in that way of thinking. How can we now use what we discard to make something useful for someone else or for the future as well? And so I think it is such an interesting avenue that we need to explore. And I know that you, Maria Marshall, will be at the forefront of that with the others as well to agitate for that level of change as well. Maria, we are always so very proud of you. You know that. That is without saying. And we want to encourage you to continue being as strong in your activism as you are. And we look forward to even bigger things, even with your little thoughts, bigger things coming from you as well. And I want to encourage other young people to join you as a part of your Thought Squad. How can people do so?
Well, just by participating in the average question that I put out, well, I can't put an exact thing, but I put them out every now and then. Just by participating in those questions and following my Instagram and also subscribing to my YouTube channel, you can be a part, you can show support to me, and you can be a part of the Thought Squad.
And all the information is right on the screen, folks. Look at it. On Instagram, it's Thought Squad by Maria. That's the Instagram handle, Thought Squad by Maria. On YouTube, the channel is Little Thoughts on Big Matters. Little Thoughts on Big Matters. Like, subscribe, respond, engage. And let's all together as young people make a tremendous difference as Maria Marshall is. Maria, thank you for joining us. I could only wish you the best going forward. Thank you.
Same to you.
You're very welcome. Morning. She's so sweet. Maria Marshall with us right here as we kick off our Exceptional Youth Thursday. We're coming back with more after this break. We have 15 minutes to go to 7 o'clock. The Lodge School is going to be immensely proud of our next guest because she's an alum of the Lodge School and her name is Donnell Dean, double D. Good morning to you, Donnell. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good. I see that you say that you have a passion for people, a passion for creativity, and a passion for just making things happen. How long have you realized this passion?
Honestly, I have had this passion all my life, helping others and, being creative, but I wasn't sure how to go about that. As I grow, I realized I can choose a particular career choice to do so.
Oftentimes people need some kind of inspiration to spur this passion. They might have seen something, seen someone, experienced something. What was it for you that kicked off this passion in this kind of way?
What kicked it off for me, I'm actually an older sibling. I have a younger sibling, and I like to, help him with everything he has to do. And as well as I was going to lodge, I honestly like to just help wherever I possibly can, no matter what the subject is, no matter whether it was in sport. I always found that time to choose to help someone. So that is where it all started for me.
So you're naturally that kind of giving person, self-sacrificial almost. You know, I love it. You're 24 years old now, and you consider yourself to be a creative guru. Now, a guru is a big word, and you know, it's that kind of title that one takes on after years of experience. So what makes you think that you are the creative guru?
Well, it comes naturally. It comes naturally. So I believe I am that. I like to manifest these things within my life.
Amen.
I'm only now 6 months within the marketing business, but I have been an entrepreneur for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just manifest that, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to, lower my standards or anything. I'm going to, this is what I am, and this is where I will definitely head to.
You've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, you said. So what is it about entrepreneurship that excites you enough or excited you enough to get involved in entrepreneurship?
I get to be myself as well as show people my talent, my skills. You get to be, it's more convenient for you as an entrepreneur when you can, move by your own time. You can schedule stuff the way you want to, which is better. You can be more organized. And, you can just show people who you really are within the business aspect, your personality and everything. So that is what I really love about being an entrepreneur, because I get to be myself.
I like that. As I listened to you, I kept thinking, wait, are you considered to be one of those own way girls?
I'm not that own way, but I do like, it's more convenient though, because when you can, do things that you really love.
Yes. And that's the whole point. Have a passion for what you love, and just everything will sail from there on. And odd enough, is this all links? Yesterday, Wednesday, we were talking a lot about passion and having a goal in mind and seeing your picture, seeing the end so that you have a strong finish. And here it is now, we're engaging with this 24-year-old woman, still very young, who has her passion, who sees her goal in mind. Starting Creative Guru, though, as an entrepreneur, what is it about business that you've learned so far?
I've learned so much. First of all, I definitely had to learn my mindset had to change a lot. The way I see things, because when you change your mindset, then your actions and everything change accordingly. I had to work on that for sure, where my personality will definitely engage. I had to learn how to communicate better. Personally, I was not the friendly type. I was not the person to be that outspoken. I was still a bit shy. I had to learn all of these different things. Business has also taught me how to plan properly, how to be organized, as well as, setting a particular path, a better productive, and continue to be positive at all times, being very consistent. Consistency was a big deal for me. It still is, because with that, then you are able to, be more determined and get things done better once you are being very consistent. Business has taught me time management, money management. All the things that we as normal living people sometimes, slack on. I had to really get disciplined. So definitely discipline was a very big deal for me starting in business as an entrepreneur.
This sounds like all of the things that you teach your clients, because you're into assisting businesses and small enterprises as well to leverage their brand. So talk to me a little bit about how people who are looking now for that assistance can turn to your business called Creative Guru, and what are some of the things that they can benefit from that?
Right. With my business, you can benefit from having some marketing strategies, tips, tricks. You can also get business pitching coaching, where I allow you to, I kind of teach you to how to sell your business in a short space of time. It's called the elevator pitch. This is also used within business plans as well. Then I can also teach you how to advertise social media on social media for your business, the better way, how to use SEO, search engine optimization, how to use email blasts, how to use newsletters, all of these different aspects on digital marketing as well. Production planning, I plan productions, photo shoots, video shoots, commercials as well, which can go into advertising your business in the best way possible. And I also provide CV writing, resume writing, proposal writing. Proposal writing comes into a business when you have to, business partner, any organization if we're looking to get into business, get your estimate.
You provide in your boutique quite a number of services indeed. So how did you, again I'll stress on the age at 24, get all of this experience so that you can engage and teach me and teach so many others as well about how to be successful? Where did you get all this from?
Well, at the age of 19, I first did event management, and this was at Barbados Community College Hospitality Institute. We know it as Pomerine. That is where I started doing event management, where it taught me a lot about proposal writing. It taught me how to plan better, organize, all these different things that you have to know when you're doing an event. After that, a year ago, I have done small business management at Career Development Institute, where it taught you fundamentals of marketing, business law, customer service, sales. So it taught me a whole variety, and I was able to, do my course, and I was given an opportunity that majority of us entrepreneurs were not given at the time, and now due to COVID and stuff like that. So I started there, and then being a creative person and someone who loves to help, I just kind of put it all together and made Creative Guru my business personality. I have also done some live discussions last year during COVID, which I had just finished school. And I use that as a way to assist entrepreneurs as well with learning some basics with me, but it also helps me as an individual to kind of keep it in my head, to stick it up there so that when I'm ready to start my business, which I started this year, I was able to know all the things that I need to know right off my head for when clients come to me and entrepreneurs and stuff, and I can provide that with them now.
I wanted you to say all of that because at the same time, quite young, you're up against those who are thinking you are too young to be able to tell me anything. I'm sure you get that from time to time, but you persevere. And so there must be something that makes you want to get up every day and get going. And how much time in a given day, 24-hour span, do you dedicate to doing all of this?
I can be very honest. I dedicate from 10 in the morning to 6 p.m. Those are my opening times virtually, but I do have some days that I kind of end up working almost the full 24. By the time I wake up, I always have something going on in my head, and I'm like, okay, let me go write this down, let me go do this. If I have to plan some things, then it takes a lot more time. So within that time span on virtual, which is WhatsApp, Instagram, and stuff like that, I also take way more time after or before I open to do so. So let's say I get 15 hours, not every day, but majority, because I like myself and like to get things started out. And I have a passion for it, so kind of a workaholic.
But balance is critical. So when you're not working, what do you do for fun, Donnell?
I relax. I like nature, so I like to go outdoors and taking that, the atmosphere. I do go other places sometimes, but mostly I'm a nature girl, so you will always catch me near nature, whether it's cliffs, whether it's the beach, whether it's somewhere by a garden. Yeah, I love nature. I prefer to just go outside and just engage with the atmosphere.
And it's so important for people to have balance. You're quite right. I'm glad you also emphasize that, because oftentimes, you think you're young and you think that all you should do is focus on your career and do just that. But you're talking about, no, spend some time to do the other things as well that add value, further value to living. which for you is being very natural, out into nature, hiking, going to high spaces, low spaces, and just enjoying what God has provided on this space. Now, there are lots of young people watching this morning who are thinking, you know, I want now myself to be an entrepreneur. What's your best advice to them?
My best advice to them is make sure you have a passion for it. Don't make making money your first reason to start. Have a passion for it, but keep your head up, learn things, ask questions. Don't be ashamed to say you don't know anything, and just put your best foot forward and the other one will follow.
How much of an opportunity do you get to go back to school, the large school, and share from your experience and value?
I would honestly love to go back. I have not been back to Lodge since I have graduated from there. But if I'm given the opportunity, definitely I would love to go and, you know, be able to spread some education, some knowledge to the children and stuff and students of law school.
I think it is so important to give back. I really, truly do. And I hope that eventually they get that opportunity, the school, to call you back, Ms. Donnell Dean, and say, hey, come talk to our students a little bit about your journey that you've traveled through the school and now how it is as an entrepreneur, running your own business, doing your own thing. So now that you're leveraging yourself as the creative guru, what's been the response?
Amazing. The response has been amazing. Right now, most people do not call me by my name anymore. I get calls and I'm like, can I speak to Guru? Is this creative Guru? The name is very catchy, so everyone now loves it. Everyone is just hooked on it now.
That's beautiful. So again, folks, if you want to book Creative Guru, look at your screen. You can call Donnell Dean or Guru on 268-9165, 268-9165, or you can send an email to creativeguru246@gmail.com, or you can find her on Instagram, that's creative.guru_. Donnell Dean, thank you so much for joining us this morning. You are one of our exceptional young people. We are immensely proud of all that you've been able to achieve thus far, and we hope you achieve so much more. Your constellation is bright. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Donnell Dean, better known as Creative Guru, and we're back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Top of the hour, let's take a look at the news now. Here is Shane Seeley.
Thank you, Pearson. The morning report has been getting more details about the $90 million bill owed to the Barbados Water Authority by businesses and homeowners. The BWA chairman, Stavon Roberts, says it's roughly a 70 to 30% split between commercial and domestic users.
At excess of $90 million being owed to the Barbados Water Authority. This is a significant amount. When you think about the amount of projects that the Water Authority at the moment is rolling out and how much money we are constantly spending to improve the water infrastructure of Barbados for the people of Barbados, we really, really have to consider what's going on in terms of the monies that is outstanding to get these projects completed. With regards to the breakdown, I don't want to finger point, but the larger amount of that money, as you would probably realize, is commercially owned. There are lots of commercial businesses that owe us quite a bit of money, and I would like to think that since the economy is picking up and they're starting to earn money again, that they will take it upon themselves to start paying their bills. And Water Authority is one important bill that they should pay because everybody wants water.
The rollout of the Pfizer vaccine begins today, and the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Kenneth George, made the announcement at the fourth and final town hall meeting on COVID-19 vaccinations and testing at the Commermere School last evening. Now that the Pfizer vaccines are here in Barbados, many people have been expressing a preference to have that brand.
It's going to be a limited rollout. We are doing some individuals like recruits from the Barbados Defense Force and other small groups as a trial run. Then later next week, we will proceed to the general population with a view to shortly, once the Ministry of Education is happy and we go through a few steps, to invite younger individuals to have their vaccines that are approved in persons 12 years and older.
In the latest COVID-19 statistics, 13 new cases have been reported by the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory. The 6 females and 7 males were identified from 1,381 tests done on Tuesday. The number of people in isolation now stands at 127. Confirmed COVID-19 cases recorded since March last year have reached 4,594, while the virus has claimed 48 lives. On the vaccination front, 87,096 people have received second doses of vaccine. Those fully vaccinated now represent 32.1% of the population. Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, Dr. Joy St. John, believes the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and its partners are vital in tackling the infodemic of misinformation about COVID-19. She made the comment at the recent Caribbean Broadcasting Union's annual General Conference in light of concerted effort by many to disseminate untruths regarding COVID-19 vaccines.
So the media has a very important role. Not just motivation, but countering dangerous rumors, helping audience members to stay healthy, and helping to reduce the stigma towards people affected by COVID-19.
And with regards to the acquisition of vaccines, Dr. St. John says CARPHA's work is continuing, with several countries like Barbados having received their first batches of the U.S.-manufactured Pfizer vaccine, which can be used to inoculate children 12 years and older. And the Barbados Union of Teachers is meeting with its legal counsel in the coming days to discuss its next move. This after the recent High Court ruling in its favor, which asserted that the government needed to properly consult with the BUT regarding any fundamental changes it intended to make to any terms and conditions of employment going forward. BUT President Pedro Shepherd told CBC News the court's decision was a step in the right direction. He, however, stressed that there were still a number of issues to be resolved.
We are expected to meet with the lawyer, Mr. Gregory Nichols, in another week or two to get further explanation of the judgment, and then we would, of course, then meet our members who may also require some clarification on certain aspects of it. But as it stands now, we are somewhat satisfied with the efforts of our attorney and the decision handed down by the Court of Barbados.
And that's your 7 a.m. headline news. I'm Shane Seeley. Back to you, Pearson.
Shane, thank you. It is 6.5 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, you know what it is. It will be the time for you to win in our Crumbs question of the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock now. Time for you to win with Crumbs Bakery. Time for you to call me on 228-6288 or 228-62... What am I talking about? Call it MCTV, sorry. 228-5562, all these 228s, or 228-5563. Those are the numbers to call. But the other number I gave you was MCTV. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the numbers to call for today's Crumbs question of the day. Where did my head go? Today's question, that's the way it's phrased. I'm going to say it this way. Where will be the newest Crumbs location? Do you have any idea? Where will be the newest Crumbs location, or where is the new Crumbs location going? So where will be the newest Crumbs location? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now. Where will be the newest Crumbs location? Where will that be? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Get a chance to win with Crumbs Bakery. There will be a Crumbs Bakery very near you. You know this. Let's hear from you. Good morning. Hello.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning. You don't whisper. I can barely hear you. I'm doing well if that's what you're asking. Thank you so much for asking. Where are you watching us from?
Lower Bernice.
Lower Bernie, right here next door to us.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if you know the answer. What's your answer, sir?
What did we say, Peter?
Don't ask me questions. What's your answer?
Right, St. Peter.
You sure with that?
Yeah.
What makes you so sure?
You got that was the last one I know of that there was their bill.
There's another one coming, man. That's not the answer, though. Thanks for watching us from Low Bernie. Thank you, sir, for trying. Nope. You're dead wrong. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Where will be the newest Crumbs location? Where will it be? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. What parish are you watching us from?
St. James.
St. James?
Yes, please.
You're very perky this morning. What happened? You're ready to laugh. What's your answer?
6 Roads.
Where?
6 Roads.
6 Roads? Why would you say that?
Well, I was passing there and I saw Crumbs Bakery coming soon.
You've not seen that anywhere else?
I don't recall seeing it anywhere else.
Have you driven all around the island?
No.
So then how you know it nowhere else?
I'm just guessing.
That's okay. It's good to guess. You're absolutely right, Mr. James. Absolutely right. Crumbs Bakery coming soon. I've seen the sign too. So you're quite right. They're coming to 6 Roads in St. Philip. Well done. You stay right there on your phone. Don't put down. We have to get some more information from you. So she's absolutely right. The newest Crumbs location will be at 6 Roads in St. Philip in the new mall that's been developed there at 6 Roads. So look for it real soon. That's it. Thank you so much, ma'am, for calling. Thank you so much for participating, everybody, even the gentleman from Lower Burney. Good luck next time. We're going to take a break right here. When we come back, more of our exceptional young people.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 30 minutes after 7. We could almost call it Exceptional Youth Thursday right here on Morning Barbados. The next young person who we are really immensely proud of is 25 years old and is a teacher, but he is also a footballer who understands sport and its discipline. His name is Akeem Breedy Kelman. Good morning to you, Akeem.
Hi, good morning, Barbados, and good morning, Mr. Boone.
I like that. Good morning to you, Mr. Breedy. So, let's talk a little bit about you, because you're, for us, one of our exceptional young people. Football has been your passion. Has it been your passion, as you could say, pretty much all your life?
For most of my life, it really has been my passion.
How come?
Okay, so from the time I would have entered the Complemere School and I would have joined the Barbados Soccer Academy camp, that's when I really pursued and started to play football. So my passion would have grown from there.
From secondary school?
Well, I played it in my last year at St. Stephen's Primary, but when I joined the camp at Barbados Soccer Academy, that's when I would have really gotten interested in football.
I know a lot of people over the time with us, they've heard about the Barbados Soccer Academy. I want you to tell us, what is the Barbados Soccer Academy and what's the benefit from going through the program of the Barbados Soccer Academy?
I really and truly believe that the Barbados Soccer Academy is the best football academy in Barbados because it has benefited me in many ways. I built many relationships. Also, the structure that is in place, you know that you're going to get grounding and good coaching. Not only that, I would have grown and developed. I built confidence. I would have also grown in terms of making decisions quickly, especially through playing football. So if you would have ever played football, if you ever had the ball at your foot and you have an opponent approaching you, you have to make a decision in very few seconds. If you're going to pass the ball, if you're going to dribble, if you're going to pass someone. So it teaches you many skills.
Including being a team member, because I mean, in the days of playing football in my era, you know, you get the ball, you run it straight for the goal bar, get out my way, you know.
Exactly.
But the game of football is far more strategic than that.
Very much so, very much so. So for instance, I would have been a defender, but so my aim would have been to ensure that the opponent does not get to the well, doesn't get too close to the goalkeeper. But once I get the ball, I know my aim is to push it forward or to pass it to the midfield.
See, share, pass it. Don't try to hog it for yourself, as we would say. But then you went on to study something called ecology. You have a bachelor's in ecology. What is that study? Ecology.
So ecology is really is about studying the environment. So it's the study of the interaction between living and non-living things. So let's say you are planting or sowing a seed. So the seed would be the living thing. the soil would be the non-living thing. What about the soil influences or allows the seedling to grow? So that is what ecology is really about in its simplest terms.
In its simplest terms, but that's so scientific for a lot of people. It goes right over the head, but that's all right. So that's your passion, but you had a minor in education. You're now a teacher. You're 25 years old. You're a very young man. Do you still get a chance to play football competitively?
Well, unfortunately, no. With the pandemic in the island, I haven't been playing much football. So that's the only downfall, to be quite honest. But whenever I have the general occasion that I go out with friends, I would usually take my ball with me, and that's when I would play football.
You take your ball with you. I love that. It's a part of you, so it's going with you. So there are lots of young boys who are watching this morning, and parents themselves who are thinking, I hear you, Mr. Breedy, but I ain't letting my little boy run out there because he could be injured. He could be this or that. What do you say to them?
I would say no. It's about taking risks and knowing what you can and cannot do. So, for instance, that's why it's always best to join a club. That's where you will get the appropriate training, and that's where you will hone your skills as well. So you know what to do and what not to do.
What I've loved too is in our interaction with lots of other young men who've gone through the Barbados Soccer Academy is it also provides them avenues for furthering their studies abroad. Were you one of those recipients?
No, I was not one of those recipients, but many of my partners or teammates would have also been scholarship winners. So for instance, there are individuals such as Carl Hinkson. He's also coached now at the Barbados Soccer Academy, and in the past 2 months, Barbados Soccer Academy actually secured 5 scholarship winners.
And for a lot of these, this is a great benefit because some people just simply could not have afforded it on their own. True. And now here it is through their football, through the Barbados Soccer Academy, they're able to find the funding for their furthering their education. Some of them not able to meet all of the costs. And I know the Barbados Soccer Academy is trying to encourage people and businesses to continue supporting our young men in this kind of way. What is it that you teach at the school?
I teach integrated science from 1st to 5th form and also agricultural science at the CSET level.
At what school?
At the Parkinson Memorial School.
Oh, just across the road from us.
Yes, just across the road.
And what does it mean to you to watch students' minds develop day by day?
Really and truly, you feel proud because you would have put in so much time and effort into preparing a lesson, and then to see them use it and benefit from it is really a proud feeling that you do get. So I'm really glad that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Was teaching your first passion after football?
To be quite honest, I actually, through challenges, it actually led me to take that path. And I'm really glad, I'm really thankful for those challenges because I'm doing something that I love right now.
Now you have me curious, very curious. What were those challenges that propelled you in this direction?
Well, honestly, my first year at the university was very challenging. So much so, I decided to change my minor to education. So because of that, I actually enjoy the courses in education. Also, my brother teaches as well. So those two factors are what really propelled me, encouraged me to pursue a degree in education and then eventually teach.
All right. Now, I'm sorry if we delved into an area you didn't want to talk about, but curiosity, it's good to have curiosity. So let's talk a little bit. What's your favorite football team?
Oh, my favorite football team is Chelsea, who would have just won the Champions League.
My man sat forward. Oh, my favorite football team. So just won the Champions League. And so that made you immensely, I can well imagine the arguments you had among your friends and the celebration.
Oh, I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic.
I love it. And then who's your favorite footballer?
My favorite footballer of all time is Didier Drogba.
Why?
He no longer plays, but I love him. He was very charismatic and a very good goal scorer.
And a very good goal scorer. I mean, after all, you win games by scoring goals. So
exactly.
Correct. So let's talk a little bit now about, I want you to give some advice to some young children watching this morning. They're trying to determine what is their next stage, how they're going to achieve what they want to achieve, how do they feel better about themselves. What do you say to them in the face of all that's been seeking to distract them?
I would say, even if you don't play football, encourage yourself to join a sport because it allows you to relax. It also allows you to clear your mind and you build many relationships and friendships. So, and with that there, it then allows you to pursue any goals or careers that you so desire. So join a sport, especially football.
join the sport, especially football. Were you part of any teams that won anything?
Oh, when I was a part of the Barbados Soccer Academy, we won the under 13, under 15, and under 17 championship in 3 consecutive years.
As a defender, you were a part of that team?
Yes, I would have been a part of that.
You
team, yes.
only played that particular role as a defender?
Yes, I only defended. That's
so you don't want to be the one running all over the field. I'll defend.
Well, I had a couple of times where I ran down the field, but that wasn't my main role. So.
Fair enough. You stick to what you're good at, and you're so good at what you do. We really want to commend you today. You've got your bachelor's in ecology. You've used football to leverage everything that you do. You still have the passion for it. The ball goes with you everywhere you go. Your team, Chelsea, has won, and your Drogba is your favorite footballer. There's so much we learned about you. Congratulations on all you've been able to attain, Mr. Akeem Breedy-Kelman. We've recognized you this morning as one of our exceptional young people, and as a teacher, we want to encourage you to continue molding the minds of those who you engage with. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sorry, Mr. Boyne?
Yes?
Can I just say a thank you to the sponsors quickly?
Certainly.
So I'd like to thank the youth, the YMCA, and the Commerce School for allowing Barbados Soccer Academy to use their grounds to play football. Also, the Sandy Lane Charitable Trust for providing the Government of Barbados financial assistance. I'd also like to thank the RBC Capital Markets for being with the Barbados Soccer Academy for over the many years. So I'd like to thank these individuals.
Well done.
And entities.
I'm so glad that you're able to do that, indeed. Thank you so much for being able to be so mindful, top of mind to say thanks as well. That's so important. Thank you so much, Akeem.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. There he goes, engaging your man, really fun, and he's never forgetting those who have been a part of his journey and the journey of the Barbados Soccer Academy thus far. Thanks to all of you. We're taking a break right here. When we come back, some more of our very exceptional young people.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
25 minutes after 7 o'clock on this exceptional Youth Thursday here on Morning Barbados. The next we're going to meet had a chance to represent Barbados in Mexico. And so this morning we say good morning to you, Keon Sobers. Good morning. Oh, Keon, hello. We're going to try to get Keon's voice in just a moment. Keon, if you can hear me, just say good morning. All right, we're going to try to get Keon sorted out in just a little while. Keon, if you can hear me, as soon as you can, just come right through. Keon is himself represented Barbados in Mexico recently for the 2021 Continental Championships. What are those championships? I know you're curious to know a little bit more about, but I'll let him tell his story as well. He's a young man who would have been through the St. Lucie Secondary School, as you know now, it as a Darrell Jordan Secondary. And so we want to talk to him a little bit about what he's so good at. Let's see if we can have him on the line again. Keon, good morning. Someone tell me, someone guide me. So let's see if we can get Keon sorted out. Keon, who from the age of 10 was very intrigued by the work of the RSPCA, and he loves dogs, he loves bicycles. Can't wait to talk to him about his passions that led him into wrestling. He's now one of our wrestlers who would have represented Barbados in the championships in Mexico. So we're going to try to get Keon sorted out in just a little while. And as we do, I just want to remind you to stay with us as we celebrate our exceptional young people. If you know any of them, then you can certainly send us an email to Mornin Barbados, morninbarbados@cbc.bb. We'd be happy, as you can tell, to feature any of our young people. So while we get Keon sorted out technically, we'll try to connect now with Xavier Tempro. Xavier Tempro himself, too, very much into sport. And Xavier is, again, one of our exceptional young people. Let's see if we got him on the line now. Xavier, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Ah, there you are, Xavier. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Good. I'm great. You're a wrestler, and you look it too. Like a big guy. It's scary. So, did you get a chance to go off to Mexico?
Yes, sir. I did.
How was it for you?
It was a wonderful experience.
What was it? What about it was so wonderful?
The people, the food, the atmosphere, and all of that.
How did you get that chance to go to Mexico in the first place?
Well, I was, how I could put it?
Just tell me.
Well, I was under the BYAC, right, and we were in the residential stage, and the court, Mr. Ronald Phillips, he wanted to do wrestling and that sort of stuff. And he saw, like, I was like wanted like the curriculum we wanted to do, and they put wrestling, and like he said, look at me, and like told me that I don't know, he saw I was wanting to do wrestling, and it went all set from there.
You went to school at Parkinson Memorial, then you joined the Barbados Youth Advanced Corps, and it was while there that you were spotted for your talents. But you're also a champion. You're a champion in beach wrestling, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, when did you become that champion?
I can say, I can't remember, I can say last year that I was, I became champion, because there's like 2 years I've been doing beach wrestling.
Right.
And now transitioning from beach wrestling into mat wrestling. Plus, I always had a love for wrestling from the age of 9, watching WWE, that sort of stuff. And yeah, I was like fantasizing over a guy called Mark Henry and that sort of stuff. And like I said, that's what I wanted to do.
You wanted to wrestle. But you know, oftentimes when, as a child, I remember watching Bob Buckland. You wouldn't remember him. He's probably too old for you. You know, but he was the wrestler of the time. And you watched it because you wanted to do it. And you used to think, you know what, I could fight. But wrestling is not fighting. Wrestling is a skill, it's an art. So talk to me a little bit about what you know to be the differences between wrestling and fighting.
Well, fighting is like hand-to-hand combat and that sort of stuff. Like you like punching somebody and that sort of stuff. And wrestling is like a story. Like wrestling is like a story you want to tell. It's like a story, and it can make a good one. You can make a good impression of wrestling, or a bad impression. You could like the moves can be like I can tell you like, for a fact like Ric Flair and those sort of guys, like the people know like Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair and that and other great stars. They'll know how to tell a story. They could sell good and that sort of stuff. But other than that, I can tell like they love it. I know it's a dangerous sport, but everything has to be dangerous at some point in time.
You are so right. You are so right. Everything has its own dangers inherent in it. So when you look at wrestling and you think of the dangers though, what keeps you going knowing that you have the danger to injure yourself?
Everyone says no pain, no gain. So
no pain, no gain. So so then a number of things you've gained. There you are. And
That's me.
you've won now. You're the Pan American Beach Heavyweight Champion. You went to
Yeah.
Mexico, and somebody said, unfortunately, owing to your weight, you were not allowed to compete. Why?
Yeah, unfortunately. We went to Mexico knowing that we did, or knowing to us that they changed from limitless weight to a limit weight. So unfortunately, I couldn't wrestle. I was real bummed out because because to wait to train for all those months, then to go to Mexico to not wrestle it literally disappointed me. So I used to still get experience to see meet new people and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I would have been so disappointed myself, having gone that far to be told that I could no longer compete. So who are some of the supporters around you from your family who give encouragement to you to continue in this sport?
My brother, my brother Jefferson Ward, my brother Omar Ward. Well, you all actually know him. He does stone carving. He was once a former boxer. Yeah, he gave me encouragement. A lot of people around here give me a lot of encouragement and say I could make it actually far. My mom, a huge supporter. My aunts, my uncles, and that sort of stuff.
That's great. Your full family. Your full family support. That is really, it is so important to have the family behind you. I know how that feels. I have my family behind me too. I'm very fortunate. You're very fortunate to have the same support. But you're also studying at BIMAP. So what is it that you're doing at BIMAP?
Well, this is our last year at BIMAP. I'm doing entrepreneurship management. Yeah, Marquita Phillips.
Is your tutor?
Well, she was she's the one that I actually talked to like the first time. We had a career day at you service the residential stage. I made her click from there and say I actually wanted to go to BIMAP and that sort of stuff, and then here I go BIMAP.
That's great. You know, a lot of times we don't understand the Barbados Youth Advance Score is much more than just a place for deviance. It's not a deviance place at all.
Yeah.
But here it is that you had the opportunity to engage with someone who inspired you. And now you're doing your studies through BIMAP on entrepreneurship management. How are your studies going?
It's been good.
That's good. That's good. We could only wish you great success, Xavier Tempero. So let's look ahead now at your love for wrestling. Where do you want to see yourself becoming in wrestling as your chosen sport?
I could say like become a champion and that sort of stuff.
Who turned on the TV in the house?
My mother.
Tell your mommy turn it down just a little bit because it's going to confuse you. It'll also confuse me. I'm hearing myself coming back to me. So that's what you want. You want to be a champion in the sport as well. So what divisions or what specialty would you want to be a champion in?
Greco-Roman wrestling and that sort of stuff.
Don't listen to the TV, you listen to me. All right. Well, I only want to wish you the very best, Xavier, because you are already a champion, and we want to continue championing your success as well here on Morning Barbados, and in Barbados in particular, because now everybody knows exactly who you are, and we are so immensely proud of you, Xavier Tempero. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're doing it very well. For us, you're one of our exceptional young people. We recognize you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Xavier Tempero, he's studying entrepreneurship management at BIMAP, but he is already a champion at wrestling, a heavyweight champion as a matter of fact. We're going to take a break and we're coming right back with more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're just about 22 and a half minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock, and it's vacation time. And so the children are clamoring for somewhere to go. We found somewhere you can take the children. It's at the Barbados Museum, and just recently they relaunched the Children's Gallery. Very exciting, very interactive, very affordable, must go. And so our producer Nadia Foster had a chance when they opened to be there. And so we want to share with you yet again her experience through her eyes while at the Children's Gallery of the Barbados Museum. Take a look.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nadia Foster, and we're here at Jarvis Booster Children's Gallery at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society, where it celebrates the importance of play and bringing learning to life. And to show me around, I'm joined by Kevin Farmer, the Deputy Director here at the museum.
People are going to experience an exhibition like no other on island. It is completely interactive. You can touch everything. There's a nice use of modern technology as well as mechanized technology. Kids can learn here what a surgeon has to do, whether they're fixing a heart, removing a cataract, dealing with earwax, repairing a broken arm. They can get to touch our touchy boxes and figure out what are they feeling. They can get to smell particular things and decide, is that a smell that I know or is it a smell that I don't know? They can learn about the human body. They can explore the ideas of how we see things differently, whether normally through magnification or see it how a fly sees it with a couple thousand lenses. At the same time, kids can build stuff, see how it works. They can play with gears and manipulate gears to actually see how things work. They can build particular items out of paper. We have a kind of a wind tunnel, and they can play with that and see if they actually can fly. And then, of course, they can learn also about the chattel house, how it's constructed, where it began. They can actually cut out and design their own chattel house based on what we have here. So these are but some of the things that they can come and explore at Explore. Yeah?
What does this particular one do?
Okay, this teaches you in a way what a doctor might do, a surgeon might do, in this instance about a heart transplant. So you touch the interactive, it asks you a series of questions that you then have to answer, and depending on it tells you what you've got right or what you've got wrong. Oops, you've made a mistake, 5 out of 6, change your correct answer. So of course you need to remember what it is you answered. So, you got it all correct, and it then brings up the human body. So choose your tools and equipment. Not that, definitely those that will aid you in actually performing heart surgery. And then it asks you to let's start the operation. Yep. Brilliant. And then, excellent. Scalpel, and it guides you what you're supposed to do. Now come back out and go again. Left to right or right to left. Try it one more time. So you remove it.
And replace it.
Yeah. You say you can't do heart surgery?
There you go. Remove the sterling spreaders. And now you've got to sew them up. And unfortunately, you ran out of time, the patient died. But guess what? You can play it again.
Well, what I didn't tell you is that we got a sneak peek of this a couple days ago.
Okay.
I came here with some of my colleagues. And of course, Joel chose the heart transplant, the hardest one.
There you go.
I must say, the patient lived.
The patient lived, okay,
yeah.
That's good.
And we are surgeons now.
You're surgeons now,
Yeah.
see, there you go. So here you can put your hand in. Can you guess what's in here? By feel. So that deals with, tactile learning. And also here as well. And if you don't know, you can actually just peek inside to see what it is. But you don't peek first. You try to guess first. And then from there, you can go over to magnifying material. So we can look. We look at various items under magnification. There's some stuff here on slides that you can also look under magnification. You might even have a 25 cents in your pocket, and you can look at that under magnification. You can see how a fly sees. A fly has 4,000 lenses in its eye, so you can look through here, anywhere around the gallery, and see the multiple images that a fly would see. And of course, kids like to dress up. And here, first, put on a hairnet, put that on, put on a helmet, and decide what career or guess the career of the particular headdress. But the important thing is, in the time of COVID, we're doing time tours. So persons can call the museum, book a time tour. After that tour is completed, our staff will come through, sanitize the area, and then we'll have the other time tour after that. So one doesn't have to worry. We are following all the COVID protocols, ensuring not only safe distancing, but ensuring that the touch surfaces are cleaned after each visit. So here we're talking about how you listen, how pitch and tone is created. And of course, what better way to do that than using the only instrument created in the 20th century in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, but the steel pan. But also, everyone remembers tuning forks. You can actually see how the tuning fork works on oscilloscope. So you got your tuning fork and you hit it on a particular material. You can see how the waves will change. Teaching you about pitch and timbre and how sound waves actually can be seen using an instrument. Now, for those who might be interested in construction, we might ask you to build something. And you decide how you want to build it. And then, of course, if you're a really good builder, then it should stand up to minor tremors or an earthquake. And this is where you test it. So it starts off slowly, and then it increases in movement. So far, my steeple is holding on to the foundation on which it has been built. And that's also because I only built it at one level. But the building is coming apart. But there you go. So teaching kids how to build stuff. Over here you can actually cut out and create a chattel house. You get to customize your chattel house as well. I even talk about how the chattel house came to be. Where does the word chattel come from? How old is it? And that's extremely important. Now, we all talk about renewables and recyclables, but do we understand how much energy it might take to power a single object? So here we've got a recumbent bicycle as well as a hand crank. that you can use to power these various exhibitions. And of course here, if you've got any budding aeronautical engineers, you learn how to cut out certain things and see if they will fly using our wind tunnel. And who doesn't like gears? And here you can put gears in various formations and actually see how they work. And here we take a look at renewable energy. So we keep talking about it, but the children actually know how renewable energy is actually produced. So for this one, using these discs, they get to place it where they think wind power might be, where solar energy would be, and then they test it, and if everything is correct, it will light up totally green, and we know that they understand the concept of what renewable energy is. How does the exhibit cater to children with different abilities? In multiple ways. You might have those children whose learning is done kinesthetically, which means that they have to actually physically touch in order to learn something. That's possible here. Depending on the severity of the learning style or learning ability, we actually can have sit-down classes with the teachers to decide which of the exhibitions they will focus on when they come and visit. So we can actually offer a bespoke educational tour for children with learning disabilities. That's why we have an education officer on staff. So I would always say for kids with learning disabilities, please call the museum at 538-0201. Ask to speak to Ms. Kay Hall, who's our education officer. And in doing so, we can begin to tailor those particular exhibits towards the child's learning ability.
It really is a cool place to be, honestly. The J.I.R.S. Brewster Children's Gallery at the Barbados Museum. Make that one of your stops this vacation. Go and explore and experience. It's a great place to be. Remember, there are tours, so therefore you need to call ahead and book your spot in there as well at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society. 11 to 8 o'clock. We're going to take a break right here, and when we come back, another exceptional young person.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 10 to the hour, and so as we wait for our next young person to come on through, Miss Lewis, just come on through as quickly as possible. I want to remind you that the COVID-19 vaccination drive continues. As you know, we've had a receipt of Pfizer vaccines to the island, and so they're opening it now to staff and students of the UWI Cayfield campus. It's today, Thursday, between 10 a.m. and 12 noon, just beneath the canopy at the front of the Leslie Robinson building for those staff and students of UWI. Note to walk with your national and student or staff ID cards. You have the option of receiving either the Sinopharm or the Pfizer vaccine. That's for UWI students today between 10 and noon today. Also, I want to remind you that coming up tomorrow, when we have our Fresh Fridays, we're going to meet a young Barbadian creative, very good guy who has created some great music. And if we can share with you a little bit about who's coming tomorrow. That's Robbie Niles is his name. And we're looking forward to talking a little bit about him.
Breaking all the lines, I'm intoxicated. I don't believe in love, that is complicated. Yeah. Papa told me that if I just abandon, take control, there's nothing left and leave you stranded. Yeah. Be careful how you're healing, you gon' wind up jaded. Don't let me see your faith and I'll be so waiting. Ooh, baby, you're just trying to take my cash, save me.
He's doing great things. Robbie Niles, just as a taste of who's to come tomorrow. We were hoping to have Keon Sobers on the line with us, but unfortunately, owing to connectivity issues, we can't get Keon this morning. But I can tell you that Keon is a former student of the St. Lucie Secondary School, now renamed the Darrell Jordan Secondary. Now, Keon didn't get a chance to complete his secondary school education, but he found his passion with his work through his volunteerism with the RSPCA. He has a love for dogs, and that love of dogs has led him to being a part of that. His mother supports him in everything that he does, and so she has always been there with him through thick and through thin. So he's used then his summer vacations to volunteer at the RSPCA, so he understands the value of giving back. And all along the way, with his love of dogs, he's been grooming and caring for them. With the support of the RSPCA, he's understanding a whole lot more about how one cares for that pet, the dog. But he also loves bicycling, and so bicycling is also one of the things he does. And if you don't see him walking his dogs, we would see him riding his bicycle, we're told. So one day, his mother heard a little bit more about the Youth Advanced Corps program, and she enrolled him. A little bit hesitant at first he was, but then he realized, you know what, let me give it a try, Mommy. And in trying it with Mommy, he has found his space, and now he is successful at wrestling. He too is one of those young wrestlers who would have headed out to Mexico recently to be a part of the championships. And so that experience for him was tremendous. He represented his island very, very well. And so we want to continue recognizing him too. Keon Sobers is his name, and wrestling is his game. And he's continuing to do so. We're told he's a very simple young man, but nevertheless, even in his simplicity, he is being an excellent and exceptional young person. We have 6 minutes to go to 8 o'clock. We were hoping to connect with Chanel Lewis, who is another one of those young people who we wanted to meet this morning. Chanel has formed her own beauty and skincare company, and it's located right there at the Borden Hall in Christchurch. She owns, she operates it. She has decided she's going to convert space in her property to be able to meet all that she wants to do through her passion and love for beauty and skincare. She got involved in a range of cosmetology products and services and training, and so that training has led her to become an entrepreneur. And I hope that all morning long and all Thursdays long, you've been able to see that young people are finding different ways of endeavors, and they're not necessarily working for somebody, they're working for themselves because they're not afraid to step out into the world of entrepreneurship like Chanel Lewis. And so she's doing that. So she began her own company about 10 years ago, and so far she's not looked back. She had a love for hair. And so like all girls, she began first making her own wigs. A friend of hers saw her wig and asked, "Where you get your wig from?" And she told her she made her own wig. And then out of that spurred this passion for beauty and skincare. So wig making is also a part of what she does. In 2019, I'm told that she had her own, she took a nail course. And since then, she too has been doing a lot of manicuring and nails, caring for the nails and so forth. So she's really super talented. If you're looking for her, you'll find her at Borden Hall in Christchurch. These are some of the things that she has made a very multi-talented person indeed. And that's the face cream, Here we go. She does some restore hair growth oils, all natural products, some soaps as well. She's really, really good. And in July last year, she began her beauty course online, and she decided then to try out a whole host of things. She says she has dry skin, so a lot of the products that you're seeing on your screen, she's tested on herself. So she now knows the value of all that she creates and all that you can get through Shamani's Creations. That's the name of her business, Shamani's Creations. She finds it very pleasurable being able to surprise you and to please you and to bring value to your experience as well. A whole range of skincare line. She also does body butters, lotions, hair oils, pain relief oil as well. She does pain relief balms, and I'm sure with the weather changing as it does and people experiencing different things, that pain relief balm might be something you might want to consider through Shamani's Creations. She does lip balms, body scrubs, and soaps. You just saw a lot of them for yourself. So give her a call. Shamani Creations. Chanel Lewis is her name, and I'm sure that she'll be able to help you out there. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to help young people achieve as well. And you know, Thursdays we dedicate to young people, and all we can ask of all of you everywhere is do not turn a blind eye to their endeavors. Do not turn your backs on them either. Just give them some support, because it is through your support that they achieve, and in achieving they become productive members of our society. That's all we can ask of you. To each one help one, and in helping each other we build a fabric of a society that is meaningful, strong, supportive, and most of all positive. And that's what all of our young people are doing day in, day out, and there's so many of them doing so. And all we can do is to not necessarily ignore the negativity, but be mindful that there's greater good. So many more of our young people are doing fantastic things that are good people, and all I can ask of you really is to give them your full support as well. Remember Maria Marshall? Yep, she joined us this morning. Her squad would love to hear from you as well. Thoughts Squad by Maria is her Instagram. Thought Squad by Maria. You can find her there, or on YouTube, Little Thoughts on Big Matters. Follow what she's doing as she agitates for the environment, and how we as adults can join these little ones in caring more for our environment as well. Very pleased this morning also to meet Donnell Dean, our creative guru, and our creative guru is happy to share with you all of her experience in marketing and branding, and how you can move your business from something small into something powerful. Very simple, very bespoke, but it's also well spoken of, and she has the experience to be able to make that difference in your business attainment as well. So just consider her. Creative Guru is the name of her business. You can find her on Instagram, or you can find her on Facebook. You can find her. creativeguru@gmail.com is the way to contact her as well. Her name is Donnell Dean. She owns and runs her bespoke business called The Creative Guru. And then there was Akeem Breedy-Kelman. Akeem Breedy-Kelman is a teacher by profession. He has found his passion in football. He's found his passion in education. He has his bachelor's in ecology with a minor in education. And so he wants to encourage all of you mothers and fathers out there to allow your children to play football, because football is a discipline that has meant a whole lot to him, and he's reaping his success through his engagement in football, thanks to the Barbados Soccer Academy. Just a few of our young people, but there's so many more. Let us know who they are so we can share them with the rest of the world. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Until then, take care and bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.